Space Truckers 2: The Return of the Blue Eagle, written by Michael D'Ambrosio, narrated by Bojan Dordevic. Chapter 1: A Debt to be Paid. Antoine and two of his thugs, dressed in muscle shirts and jeans, exited his office at Empire Shipping headquarters. He looked weary and pale, with a long beard and scraggly hair. As they approached the elevator on the 14th floor, 5 Kronos agents in dark suits stepped off and blocked his path. One of the agents instructed Antoine that he was to come with them to Kronos headquarters. Antoine, sensing that his life was in danger, raised his hands in mock surrender. The agents were lulled into complacency, assuming he knew better than to defy a Kronos command. Antoine's men seized the moment, drawing their weapons first and firing at the agents. The agents drew their pistols and fired back, despite lethal wounds. Antoine dove to the ground and avoided the brief shootout, as both his men and the agents lay dead or mortally wounded on the floor. He scurried to his feet and rushed back to his office. With thoughts of fleeing, he frantically searched through the drawers of his desk for a fake ID chip and the tool to insert it under his skin. The 3D monitor on the wall beeped. He froze, knowing it was too late. Reluctantly, he accepted the incoming message. A bearded man with a handlebar mustache stared grimly at him from the monitor. It was Carl Klingman, the CEO of Kronos Enterprises. Antoine greeted him politely as he sat at his desk. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he recalled the warnings the Klingman brothers gave him about failure when he was recruited. Jack promised him a luxurious lifestyle and a limitless budget to execute their orders. Carl was the quiet one of the brothers, and also the one to be feared most. His reputation for being ruthless bought him unquestioning loyalty from anyone who met him. He warned Antoine that his family would be held accountable for any failures he incurred, but Antoine was confident that he had everything he needed to be successful. That is, until Mike Colby entered the picture. That's when things went wrong.
"Antoine, you have failed us," Carl began. "Your incompetence has cost us dearly."
"But sir," he pleaded, "I already have a plan in motion to deal with—"
"Enough,"
interrupted Carl, showing his impatience.
"The board discussed your situation and we have reached a decision."
Antoine knew that whatever punishment was coming would be horrific.
"Please, Mr. Klingman, I just need a little more time."
Carl shook his head in disappointment and stepped back. Antoine saw 3 children, a man and a woman, seated behind Klingman on the monitor. His eyes widened in horror, and his worst nightmare materialized in front of him. It was his father, his wife, and their 3 young children. Their eyes were filled with tears, and their hands tied behind their back.
"You've cost me a brother, Antoine,"
Carl reminded him.
"Jack was part of my family as well as my partner. We had big plans and we trusted you to spearhead our efforts to achieve them."
Antoine broke into tears.
"Your brother is still alive. I've already heard from my sources,"
he tried to assure Carl. Humbly kneeling down in front of the monitor, he pleaded for mercy.
"Where are my men?"
Carl asked, growing more irate.
"I expected you to be in their custody by now."
Antoine knew there was no point in lying. Klingman already knew they were dead. When he didn't respond, Carl nodded to a woman in the corner of the room. Dara, dressed in a goth-style leather uniform with spikes on the shoulders and long black hair, approached him.
"Show Antoine the remedy for his failure," he instructed her.
"No,"
cried Antoine as he watched Dara slice the throat of his father. His heart broke as the man's life seeped from his body and pooled on the floor. Antoine's wife stared pleadingly for him to do something, but he was helpless. His son cried frantically as Dara held her blade to his throat. With a cold darkness in her eyes, she was no stranger to killing.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?